Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Oh, what a weekend in the Juicy Scoop world. I'm going to get into everything that's happening in Housewives first, and then we've got your real favorite, Chris Franjola is going to be here. And oh my God, the topics that we have to discuss with him, you don't want to miss. But first, let me just remind you guys to go to heathermcdonald.net for all my live tickets. They are selling beautifully. Hope to see a final sellout soon on this tour. I will be with Justin Martindale performing stand-up comedy at the beautiful Meritage Resort in Napa. They have an amazing resort. You want to stay there. You want to come see us. You go to heathermcdonald.net for tickets. And that is Saturday, July 22nd. So make sure you see that. We did another photo of him on this poster, if you're watching this on YouTube, in which his highlights are intact. So thank you for that. All right. First, this happened yesterday at the Village Inn in Sherman Oaks. I think she's been on Juicy Scoop 4 or 5 times. Kimberly Archie, who used to work for Tom Girardi, who is best friends with the Gomez family, in which their son was the burn victim who got completely screwed over by Tom Girardi not giving him his $11 million that he won from the gas company that blew up his home. Okay, so Kimberly Archie also sadly has a son who passed away, and she created an ice cream in his name. And so she was having an ice cream event to launch Paul's Ice Cream, which is the ice cream that she's doing. And so there was some word, I talked to her last night, that maybe Erika Jayne might come. She really didn't know. Their attorneys have been talking, and Erika did come yesterday afternoon, and Page 6 was there to report on it. And they went into a private room. The LA Times, which has been responsible for the big LA Times article that Sutton read from beginning to end. Nobody else knew how to read the LA Times, nor did they want to pay $1 for the online subscription. So they were there. They're going to do, I think, another obviously story on it. They're following it, maybe another documentary. I'm not sure. So they were there in the room, and it went on for an hour and a half between Erika Jayne and several of the victims of Tom Girardi, in which he represented them, won the money, and then they never saw the money, in a nutshell. And there was always questions of how much Erika knew. Erika's been pulled into lawsuits. So I think it's really great that she came. I always said, I think that she, in some ways, got some really bad advice in the beginning of this case of, I think she was blindsided about what happened, but that's what she should have said. Right from the start, she should have said, I feel terrible for these former clients, now victims of my husband. I feel blindsided. I don't know who the hell I was married to. But instead, we saw her on the show being very closed off because I think attorneys kind of were like, don't say anything. Don't say this. Say alleged victims. And that just did not bode well for her. But now she's thin as can be. She's got her tour in Las Vegas, and she is acting like a normal, nice person that I think that she can be now that she's kind of come out from under it, and she wants to help these victims any way she can. That is what I've heard. So hopefully there will be some resolve. Hopefully these people will get their money, and, this was a great move for her. And I believe it was genuine. She stayed several hours, and people enjoyed the ice cream. Okay, I watched The Real Housewives of New York, the new cast. There were people in the Bravo world that was like, no, we don't like that you got rid of the entire Real Housewives of New York cast that we've loved. The Ramona, Sonia, Luann, Dorinda, Jill Zaret. What with these new people? What? Okay, I think it was a great idea. I think it was great. It's very, very well received on my Facebook group, Juicy Scoop Obsessed. Many people are saying like, wow, maybe we need to do this with a lot of the older franchises. Again, I'm never I never want to see any of these women lose their jobs, but I do like picking the best cities because those cities are dynamic. The backdrop of New York is a character in itself. I love watching movies and TV shows in which they're filmed in New York. And so we get to see that with this. The girls are stylish. It makes me want to dress better. They're wearing black and they're chic, and it's like there's this Jenna Lyons that everyone talks about, and she is an out lesbian, she is a mother, and she is chic, and she's 54, but the rest of the cast appears to be early 40s at the oldest. And, some of them have kids. One girl is like single. It seems like they really do like each other, and I think we're going to see a season of not a lot of drama, but like a lot of chic fun, which I kind of think the Bravo world could use right now. And so it starts out in the beginning where they're kind of arguing that this one girl said, yet this other girl's charcuterie board sucked and cheese is lame and weird. That seemed to be stretched out a bit. We never saw that on camera. That was annoying. But then they also talked about how they were supposed to have a dinner and two girls bailed and went to a more chic restaurant, Cipriani's, and bailed on this restaurant. And the two girls are like, it's not 2006. Then later on, they said it's not 2012, and they were bleeping the names of this restaurant that these girls felt was lame. They're not a D-list model. They're not like some loser that would go there. It's not 2012. I actually thought that was kind of a great argument for women of a certain socioeconomic social structure. And that might happen where people are like, ew, like we've done that with girls' dinners where we're like, what? Again? Why is she picking that place? It fucking sucks. Do you want to say anything? No, let's not say anything. I just wanted to call you and get off the group chat because I'm just like, ugh. Like if we're going to go out, if I'm going to get a sitter, can we please try to get a hipper spot? Like I liked that. Again, I would have liked to see that on camera, but it wasn't. Anyway, people think it's the restaurant Catch based on how they spoke, what they said. I don't know what restaurant it was. Anyone can invite me to Catch any day, or Tao, or whatever restaurant was hip and I believe still great today. I don't care. A meal is a meal. I'm with the other girl. So that was really well received. People are loving it. They're rich. They're chic. They're young. It's fun. And I'm so grateful that they didn't put some of these girls and put them with like Ramona and Luann and Sonia and try to mesh them together the way they did with Ebony and Leah. It didn't work. It was a disaster. They've learned their lesson. The women have to be, if they're not already friends, they would be friends based on their age, what they do for a living, their socioeconomic level. We want aspiration. We want beautiful homes. We want stylish things we haven't seen before. That is what it's giving. Now, this girl had these earrings on, and I have them. They were my mother's. My mother bought them at I Magnum. By the way, Shannon Bedora's family owned I Magnum or had something to do with it. And it was a big purchase for her, sold a house or something. They're Chanel big pearls with gold around it. They're from probably like 1986. And she had a pair. So I'm like, I'm going to wear them today because I feel like upping my style since watching this show. Big brawl happened on the set of Potomac. Apparently, they were filming Real Housewives of Potomac. Allegedly, the cameras were down, but video caught this. TMZ received it, and it is horrible. It is like a full-on brawl of like pounding on someone's head. And this is what happened, if you're familiar with the Potomac or not. It was actually two friends of the main cast members who have been trying, I guess, to get on the show. And Candace, who is a main star, she sings. She has this husband who's a chef. He's white. Last season, there was talk that he was flirty with people, which never proven to be true. And this one girl named Deborah, who was a friend of, let me see. I don't know. Deborah was a friend of one of the other girls. Ashley Darby. She was a friend of Ashley Darby's. And she said all last season that Candace's husband was hitting on her. And it really reminded me a lot of Jamie Foxx's character in In Living Color, who was like, had this face and was cross-eyed. But the joke was that the character thought that she was like, everyone wanted her and she was so hot. She had like this unbelievable confidence. And that's the way I felt like this girl was in the show. Like she just was like, well, when you look like this, everybody wants you. So Candace confronts her, allegedly. This is what started the fight. And then this other friend named Kiana walked in and got herself involved. And the two of them started brawling. The two friends not even real cast members, started brawling. I mean, pounding on heads, rolling on the ground. Other cast members tried to break it up. And but they're saying that who threw the first punch first? The other girl threw it, and then Deborah, who cares? It is pretty disturbing. It's pretty awful. It's pretty lowbrow. It's giving girls, bad girls club. But, well, now people are going to want to watch. What was this fight really necessary? It seemed like it came out of nowhere when you watch the video. Kim Zolciak and her husband, Kroy, are back together. Radar Online has released all the body cam videos from the police that have been called to their house when they were fighting over Kim's handbags. She was trying to take all her expensive handbags in a car. He was saying that's community property. The cop comes, and then the cop is just basically being a therapist to both of them. She's saying he's mentally ill, he's crazy. She says, you know what he needs to do? He needs to get a freaking job. He hasn't worked in 7 years. Okay, so she's bitter about doing all of her, selling her products and stuff online, even though he's filming it. And even though she said he's the greatest thing ever, she's resentful that she's the one responsible for bringing in the initial dollars and he no longer is. He's telling the cops, she has spent $1.5 million in 2 years gambling. She does it from the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to sleep. She does it online. There's no way to stop her. We literally have nothing but this house. We sleep in the same bed because I have a bad back and I don't want to sleep on the couch from playing football. And the cop is like, oh man, I know. I was, in Iraq, and like they're kind of bonding. And but they're back together now. Interesting. They probably are not thrilled that this got out, or maybe they did. What is going on? If it's not a fake kidnapping, it's a fake divorce. What came first, the fake divorce, the fake kidnapping? I don't know. We're going to get into that later in the show. Mauricio, speaking of fake divorces, and Kyle, Erika Jayne said, you're going to see it come out in the show. I'm going to let her speak for herself. But no, they're not getting divorced. Meanwhile, he's doing thirst traps. He's posting photos of his good body working out in the gym. I'm sure if I had a listing with Mauricio, I was like, well, could you at least do a slideshow of my backyard? Because it's been on the market for 3 months. I don't know. But the landscape of his chest was pretty nice. Real Housewives of OC, that's been on for a while. It seems like it's been about 3 months since they've been in Montana. They took the girls from the OC to Montana. It's very much the simple life. It's very, very much Luann and Sonia go to Crappy Lake. So they're trying to, shovel shit and eat elk, or I don't know. The only juicy thing about it is that there's this new girl named Jen, who clearly has only been asked to be on the show because she met her husband at Tamra's gym. He's known as the town, philandering cheat guy who's never been married. And she met him and started dating him and seeing him while she was still married. So everyone has a problem with that. But then Tamra says that when he first came to the gym, her friend told her that he pointed at Tamra and said, I'm going to F her. And the friend goes, well, she's married to the owner of the gym. They own the gym together. She's happily married to Eddie. And he goes, I don't care. Watch me. I'm going to F her. According to the timeline, and maybe I'm missing something, Tamra then befriended Jen, her new boyfriend, Ryan, who said he wanted to F Tamra. They've gone out. They've hung out. Eddie likes them. They're all friends. They get on the show. And then once they're filming and in Montana and it's boring, the pro, known as Tamra, goes, and by the way, I didn't want to say anything, but when your husband first came to the gym, he saw me first and said, I'm going to F her before he pursued you. So a lot of people are like, wow, is that a good friend or is that just a really good housewife? I don't know. But he does look a lot like Paul Nassif, this new guy, Ryan, who's Jen's boyfriend. He looks a lot like Paul Nassif, Dr. Paul Nassif from Botched, who was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And this is thanks to Bravo Breaking News. And I simply can't unsee it. I think they absolutely look alike. So many of the women on OC look alike. I can't. Everybody has the same filler, lips, spray tan, heavy black eyelashes. I do like that about Real Housewives of New York. I like their makeup. I like their style. It is kind of refreshing. But that's what's cool about it. This is the New York. This is the East Coast. This is the West Coast. You can pick and choose what you like from either, but hopefully it's not those heavy, awful lashes. Okay, you guys. Now let's bring in your favorite, Chris Franjola, and get into all the hot topics that have been happening in the news. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. As promised, the favorite, Chris Franjola.
Yeah.
Tan,
Yeah.
looking rich.
That's what I was going for.
1%, looking generational
Thank
wealth.
you. Thank you.
Fresh from Montauk
Thank
for
you.
2 weeks.
Yes. I was in
Welcome
Montauk
back
around. Thank you very
to
much.
the peasant studio
Dressed like-
of Juicy Scoop. And
Well,
Golden
not
Hills.
only is it a peasant studio, it's a family-run operation here at Juicy Scoop, and I've never seen it more family-run than it's currently what just happened, leading up to now.
We
I
are
mean, it's
trying our
like
best.
being. I feel like I'm filming like a reality show about a family that's not doing well, and I'm like the cameraman who's just trying to stay out of the way.
Well, one thing,
I mean,
as
there's-
you know, in the growth of the 8 years of Juicy Scoop,
Yeah.
you once said, you had to come to the
Yes,
old studios.
I've always
you
been
came
the-
to Calabasas.
Right.
You came to our little
Bedrooms,
studio,
different
different
bedrooms.
bedrooms, kitchen, living room, and you said, I feel like I'm the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And so now we do treat you as the guinea pig.
Which is fine.
So we're trying something new a little bit production-wise today,
Uh-huh.
and you're the person we're going to try it out on.
There's a lot of screaming through the walls. If it's so far it seems to be working smoothly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's
It's
about
fine.
it's about the content.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about the juicy
exactly.
content.
You guys don't need to know what happens behind the
and
scenes.
we both look cute.
We're trying.
I had a great weekend, and Trina Turk makes this
Yes.
cute sweater and short set. And I went to the Reagan Library with Brandon for the Auschwitz exhibit.
Yeah.
And I wore this, and I
Yeah,
knew
that's a little
people,
much.
I knew people would love it, but I didn't want to say, "Hey, this is what I'm wearing."
At the Auschwitz exhibit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but a lot of people commented just in me saying, "Hey, go see this exhibit. It was
Yeah.
really great." And people were like, "Where'd you get that sweater? Where'd you get that?" So I'm like, "Okay, I think I'm going to wear it on Monday with Chris and give
Yeah.
it a proper,
Right.
proper shout out to how cute it is."
It is very cute. I don't know if I'd wear it at the Auschwitz exhibit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'm wearing these earrings, which were my mother's, but I saw one of the Real Housewives of New York was wearing them. There's a
Wow.
new young cast now.
Yeah.
And I just got off the phone with Jill Zarin, and I was telling her what I thought. And we were saying, because I already talked about this, so I just want to recap. But there was one girl on the show that left mid-filming.
Oh.
And I think that's why this first episode, it was a little confusing. They didn't give their big, long intros of how they all met each other, because they had to cut around this girl who left abruptly.
Why?
She was a Orthodox Jewish woman who was married.
Okay.
And she was a matchmaker. And allegedly there was a conversation between her and this girl who is, I forgot what country she's from, but she's black.
Yeah.
And about matching her. And she said, well, I'm a Jewish matchmaker.
Uh-huh.
And the whole point is to find both people being Jewish.
Oh, got it.
Something
Yeah.
got misinterpreted. Some back and
Oh.
forth something allegedly happened
Yeah.
where it wasn't pleasant. It was all too much. And they just were like, goodbye. So now they're cutting around it. In
Okay.
my opinion. I
Got
think
it.
they're
Yeah,
cutting
yeah.
around it. But I'm going to be with Jill Zarin.
But the earrings look nice.
The earrings look nice. So
Chanel.
I'm wearing them. I'm like, this is chic. They're from 1986. They're from
Yeah.
But you were in Montauk. I'm going there after we do our shows. We have our shows at the 10th is, I forgot all the dates, but
Red Bank, New Jersey.
Red Bank, New Jersey. Then we're doing Foxwoods
and Casino, Connecticut.
And then we're doing the Huntington.
We're doing the Paramount Theater in Huntington, Long Island,
Long
my hometown,
Island, yes.
my people.
Chris and I are going to do all that together. Then I'm relaxing for the week, staying with Jill Zarin part of the time, and with my other friend, Lisa Parker, who lives in
Amagansett.
Yeah.
I just was there yesterday.
And so, listen, you're telling me about all these great things. I'm putting it out to the Juicy Scoopers to hook me up. Like, sure, I can get at least a reservation for a cute lunch somewhere because I know it's going to be crazy
Let
busy.
me just tell you this.
Yes.
I am just a cog in the wheel here on Juicy Scoop. There are many other gays and lesbians who are loved more than me on this show. And
true.
I
was counting out my gay and lesbian friends, and it is a lot, and
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to say that.
Well, I'll say this. I couldn't
You're probably my only straight friend.
I know, I really am.
Which
It's
is questionable.
I mean, look at me. But I couldn't walk down the streets. Montauk, Amagansett, East Hampton, you name it. Juicy Scoop.
Really?
Hey, we love you.
Well, then I've got a show in West Hamptons on, I think, the 18th. So I hope people go to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
well,
anyway,
good.
you're
I'm
gonna
thrilled.
love it. I can't believe you're not. This is not your world.
It is my world. I've gone a few times because both my friends,
Right.
Lisa and Jill, have invited me over the years. But I haven't been since before COVID.
Yeah.
So it's been a few years, and every time I go, I love it. I have to really think about my outfits because I want to look rich, chic, generational wealth.
Okay.
East Coast.
Sure.
Where are you summering in Europe?
Yeah.
That kind
Right,
of a thing,
right.
which is completely opposite of my life.
Uh-huh.
And so I got to figure it out
Well,
while still looking cute.
Can I tell you the hottest trend
Yes,
that I've
please
noticed?
do.
I was there 2 weeks, and the
Yeah.
hottest trend this summer is no bra. No bra is the hottest trend of the
And
summer.
is it still what about under tit cleavage?
I haven't seen a lot of under cleavage.
Just no bra.
No
Just-
bra.
just
and
nips
I
cold.
happened to mention it to my wife. I'm like, I'm noticing a lot of this. She goes, oh yeah, that's this. She goes, you won't see a bra strap in this summer
Is this
anywhere.
Like, what was the era of like burning the bra?
Yeah, like whatever, Gloria Steinem, and yeah, from the 70s.
So leave my bras at home.
I guess, I mean,
Leave my nipple. Like, who
Yeah.
needs a silicone
No,
nipple
you
cover
want it
anymore?
out.
You want hard nipples perking.
That's what you want. Hard nipples perking.
Okay, I can do that.
That's
Because
what I noticed.
I keep those nipple covers for so long that they lose all their stickiness.
They're
You're supposed to only wear them like 3 times,
Yeah.
but you know me, I'm a cheap bitch. So then all of a sudden,
Right.
you're walking through the night and you realize one is gone. Just
Yeah.
one nip's just like
That's
winking,
not
and one is still on.
That's not generational wealth when
No,
your
no.
nipple covers are sliding off.
Okay,
All
got
right,
it.
well,
So,
good.
Hard
Have
nips
fun.
out. What about like flowy? Is it long flowy dresses? Is it still white jeans and like a tennis shoe? What is it? Can I be at all like slutty lady in too short of a skirt, or absolutely not? That screams Ramona Singer.
I didn't see a lot of shit. You know what you're seeing, and I never see you wear this, but I think you should. I think
Okay,
it would really
please
cute you up. Is like that kind of larger boyfriend jean type situation rolled up. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. It looks good. Big chunky shoe. Have some fun with it.
A chunky shoe with my tiny ankles looks
Well,
horrific.
all right. I'm just letting you know what's going on out there.
Okay.
You know,
I
the Jessica Seinfelds
Okay,
of the
from
world.
the fashionistas who know my body,
Mhm.
can I have some other suggestions besides a
Well, then
giant
you'll have to talk.
boyfriend jean?
Yeah.
So you're telling me giant boyfriend jean, giant
Not
chunky,
that one. Not the giant boyfriend jean that was like pulled up to your
no,
your
low,
nipples.
which I don't
Lower,
have a great
yeah.
flat stomach, and then a wife beater tank,
Yes.
nothing else.
Yes. Now you're talking.
Cool sunglasses.
Now you're going to be accepted everywhere. You can go from, here's the thing with Montauk and the Hamptons. There are several, you could go from everywhere. There's a place called the Montaukett that everyone goes for sunset.
Okay.
And it's hip and it's fun, but it's just a shitty beach bar.
Okay.
You could go from there down to Diorier's, which is like literally the Prime Minister of France is pulling up on a yacht.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
That kind of stuff. So, and you could do both. You could
Okay.
you could move throughout. That's what, I'm just telling you, these are the things that can get you both places.
Well,
Scarpetta Beach and Gurney's. There's a girl who hooked me up with it on a Juicy Scooper. Tell her to hook you up.
I'm going by myself after
Okay.
you leave. I'll be by myself with my girlfriends. I will be living a open marriage that week. I haven't told Peter. He
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
doesn't care. No, but I'm not going to be doing that. But I am going to be looking for whatever comes my way.
Can I tell you one tragedy that happened while we were there?
Sadly.
Not a real tragedy.
Okay.
We were over on Shelter Island, which
Yes.
is around like across from Sag Harbor, and there's a hotel there called like Sunset Beach Hotel or something. It's a cool little spot. I'd never been there before. I said I've always read about it. I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, we make a reservation. And it's a scene. It's a Euro trashy kind of scene.
I kind of like that.
But fun. I know,
Okay,
but
all right.
in a good way.
Okay.
Anyway, I have two people with us. I'm not going to say any more than that, but the two people with us who aren't as hip as me. I like to think I am.
Okay.
Or my wife. Anyway,
Dragging you.
yeah, they got a lot of sunscreen on their face.
Oh, God, they
not
didn't rub it in?
No, it looked like, looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost, just all over his face and whatever. Cargo shorts, flip-flop. I know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we...
Look like they just got off the Carnival cruise.
Exactly. They look like... They might as well be wearing matching Disney jackets.
They got a shirt that says "Ship Happens," and they're all wearing it.
100%. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Woo, this
Okay.
is tough. Okay.
I know.
So how
we
far
get out of
ahead
the,
do you
we
watch?
pull
Walk
into the
for-
parking lot, and I'm taking it all in. I got my whole. I got what I want on. My sunglasses. Everything's right, and I'm taking it all in. And I see them making a beeline to the hostess stand.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, what are they doing? What? I told my wife, I said, what's? Stop them. I'll do the talking.
Yes.
They had already beat us to it. They were like, oh, we have a table for. I mean, you thought they were at Applebee's, and. Oh, no. And they gave us a table because they were dealing with sunscreen face.
Yeah.
They give us a table, no umbrella, by the bathroom. And I'm like, it's because they did the talking. Anyway, but
Well, recently that happened to me where we got there. Our friends already got there. And my friend, Liz, said, I don't like this table. We were right by the bar and the bathroom in the corner.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, I'm going to see if we can. And I just very nicely said, hey, I'm not in love with my table. Don't know if it's possible, but do you think we could do any better? And she looked me up and down and she goes, yes, I do think we could do better.
Yeah.
And we did do better.
See?
We got the best table in the house.
Yeah. I know. You gotta let the people who know what they're doing do the talking.
Yeah.
Well, I did try and make it better.
Uh-huh.
And this hotel is owned by Andre Balazs. I
Our
happen to
old
know
friend.
This. Our old friend.
We vacationed with Andre
Exactly.
Balazs when he was dating Chelsea.
So I told them that.
Did
the
you tell him that he had Chewy ride on his back to get from the
Yes.
boat to the
Yes,
sand?
He treated Chewy as if he was like, whatever. But so I went up to the hostess, and this woman, I had obviously heard this line a million times in the last 10 years.
I'm friends with Andre.
Yeah. I was like, is this still Andre's place? She's like, yes, it is. I'm like, is Andre? I'm a friend. And she's like, she looked at me like, yeah, you and everyone else. Like, go back to your table by the kitchen, you loser. And I was like, okay, thank you. Bye. Oh, so
Don't
anyway.
worry, we'll be leaving at 4 when the cruise ship takes off. We have to be on the dock.
Exactly, right. With our hair braided, you get the hair braided on the beach, and a henna tattoo on our hand.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm excited to go. Reach out to me, people, if you've got the hookup.
Have fun.
I'm excited
Enjoy
to go.
it. It's the greatest.
Just breaking news, TMZ is reporting that Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez are separated and headed for a divorce.
Yes.
She met him. They were seen making out in 2020
Yes.
when you're not supposed to be making out. That was
Right.
high COVID times. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but they were clearly both got tested and then
Right.
started to make out. And
It said they
He
were
was-
seen making out at a Bar Louie in Northridge. Now, I don't know if you guys, most people know what a Bar Louie is. It's a good place, but it's like a chain of like bar restaurants.
maybe that was like the only place open or
They're
something.
usually open late, so like after
Oh.
comedy shows, if you're playing like some shitty cities.
Mine was TGI Fridays.
Yeah, well, it's a similar vibe.
We would always go there after I did like a play at my high school, Louisville, because
Yeah.
it was the only place that'd be open at like
right,
10:30.
right. Yeah, for us it was Friendlies, but a similar vibe.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. Anyway, they said they're going to remain good friends, blah, blah, blah. He was like her realtor or something.
Yeah.
And, she decided to marry a normie.
It was right off the
And didn't
Pete
work out.
Davidson
Yeah.
engagement. This happened. So it was never
Right.
built on a solid foundation.
She was seen at Wimbledon without a ring. And
Yeah.
now it's confirmed that like it's kaputs. And,
And she was sitting next to Andrew Garfield, I believe, at Wimbledon. And so the rumors were abuzz.
so I have a prediction.
Okay.
This little Dalton Gomez with his
Yeah.
real estate license will be picked up either by selling Sunset
Oh,
or buying Beverly Hills with Mauricio.
great idea.
Because they like when someone has an exciting ex. Right now on Selling Sunset, originally they got Chriselle because she was married to the Us guy. This is Us. Then they have like number 8 of the 9 baby mamas of
oh yeah.
no disrespect,
yeah.
whatever, Brie, whatever. She's fun to watch.
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. So now he will be able to come and tell a good story. And also, the Selling Sunset in OC had this cute guy who was married to the girl from Pitch Perfect.
Oh.
And they broke up. I forgot her name. They broke up. But anyway, now he's single. But like that. Oh, Brittany Snow. He was married to Brittany
I was
Snow.
going to say Phoebe Snow.
So that was kind of juicy that he's married to a movie. So they like
Yeah.
like movie
No,
star
this is
adjacent
perfect.
realtors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So that's what's going to happen. Also, juicy news. They just announced who the Golden Bachelor is. ABC's senior citizen star finally revealed. He's 71, and he's absolutely a perfect catch. If anybody...
Perfect 71.
Perfect 71 to fall in love again. I said this. I knew it'd be a widow, not a divorcee.
He's a widow.
It had to be a widow. And it was the love of his life. It was his high school sweetheart. They have a few kids. Sadly, she passed away like 6 years ago. So that's
Yeah.
a good amount of time. It wasn't last year. He has a beautiful house on the lake in Indiana. He loves the Chicago whatever Bulls and whatever
Cubs
else.
and
Yeah, all the whole
Bears.
everything.
Sure, all
Who
of
does Midwest?
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Best city in the world to come from. Makes you sophisticated yet normal.
Right. And the good thing is we don't-
Chicago adjacent.
We don't sit through the episodes where they go to his parents' house, you know. They're long gone. Those are always the boring episodes when you got to meet the parents.
Well, they'll go and meet the kids. I'm
Yeah,
sure
meet
the
the
kids are
kids.
part of it. And so he's got grandkids and he plays pickleball, which I just saw this thing about how many people are getting injured playing pickleball because these people start playing it and they're still older and they get too aggressive with it and
Yeah.
they fall. I have a wound right now.
a pickleball wound?
Actually, it was from tennis, but
Oh.
it could have been pickleball. Anyway, I fell because I finally got a rally going. I was so excited. I wasn't going to let it stop.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I fell over my feet onto my
well,
knee and arm. So, yeah.
good. Well, I also heard that people are upset about
Oh,
the
Jill
noise.
Zarin has pickleball paddles that they sell.
Oh, good.
And they look like the Beverly Hills Hotel. They're very cute.
Oh, she has a line of pickleball
Yes,
paddles?
they're very
Oh,
cute.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a very fun game, but just be careful. But I'm down for this. Like, I will start to watch it. I'm not watching The Bachelorette, I'll be honest. I kind of lost interest in that. So I am sort of interested to see what they're going to do and if these women are going to be like
Well, that's going to be the difficult part. I mean,
nice
they
or bitchy
obviously,
or overly sexual or
to find a
what.
71-year-old who looks as good as this guy does,
Yeah.
at least in this picture.
You said he was a little George Hamilton. He's a little tan.
It's a little fake tan or whatever they put on him
Yeah.
to prop him up, you know, because,
Yeah.
that's not the real look right there.
Yeah.
You're not going to get, because I did see a video of him, like he
So when he's moving in real life, he seems a little more elderly.
you see 71, you start to see 71 a little
Okay,
more.
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
who knows? We'll see.
Will there be Viagra talk? Will there be lube talk? Will there be hot flash talk?
Yeah.
Will there be whatever? I don't know.
Do you know what is the age of the women? What's going to be the,
I'm going to make a prediction.
like, it's going to be 50 to 80?
I'm going to say 100%. There's no way they're going to entertain someone under 50. I honestly think they shouldn't entertain anyone under 60, in my opinion.
No.
But
no.
I think they will.
Yeah, you have
I
to.
think they'll probably start at like
50.
57, 58 is what I think.
Oh, I think it's got to be 50 to
Joe, you think it's gonna be
75.
younger?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to be 50 to 75.
Yeah.
Just to make it more interesting to watch.
But with women today and like it's gonna be. I'm excited actually.
Yeah.
I think we're ready.
So
for
am I.
This. I think we're ready.
I think
this.
it's time to freshen up that franchise. You know?
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. But I wonder who they're gonna get to host.
Instead of roses, they're giving out carnations.
This is when you bring back Chris Harrison. This is when you say
Enough is enough.
enough is enough.
Yeah.
But see, they paid him so much that
Right.
I don't even think he could come back. But anyway,
Yeah.
who are they gonna get? Do
To
we know?
host?
Yeah, do we know?
I haven't heard. I think it starts tonight, so it's like it's on already.
It's not Matt Lauer.
Not that I don't know. I mean, like maybe an old guy, maybe
Amy Robach and what's his name?
Oh, those two. What happened to those two? They
They're
were all.
a girl just wrote me and she said she just saw them jogging.
Oh,
They're
okay.
still jogging.
But nobody's taking
They're
pictures
still,
anymore.
yeah, they're still jogging together
Mm-hmm.
and, going to cute lunches in New York City.
Right.
They have not started their podcast yet.
Yeah. Well, get ready.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Okay, let's talk about this. The serial killer, the suspect in the Long Island serial killer case, is ID'd as architect Rex Heuermann.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, there
Massapequa Park. Went to school with
Billy Baldwin.
Billy Baldwin.
They both went to the same high school. So just to give you a little there's been movies about this. It's been going on for years.
Yeah, 11 years.
Over the decades. So more than a decade after the bodies of various young women being piling up around
Gilgo Beach.
In Long Island, New York, a suspect has been taken into custody. Rex Heuermann is an architect with an office in Manhattan, has been identified as a suspect. So it was a beautiful home, a beautiful area. And my understanding was that he would contact sex workers to come over, and then these girls would go missing. And oftentimes their family didn't really know what they were doing and didn't know where they went. Okay. So the killings, dubbed as the Long Island serial killer case, first came to light in December of 2010. That's how long it's been that these families have been suffering. Bodies of Melissa Bartholomew, Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, and Maureen Barnes were found wrapped in burlap and placed within 500 feet of one another, buried in a marsh on the beach. And then in January 22, they released photographs of a black leather belt found at one of the dump locations they believe likely belonged to the murderer. The belt is imprinted with the letters W, H, or HM, depending, I guess, how you would turn it around.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what that...
H&M. Maybe that's where he got the belt.
Well, or like that. Well, his last name starts with an H, but maybe Rex was just maybe his real name, or I don't know.
Yeah.
That same month, police announced the creation of a website. Okay, so
Well, now it's all DNA. They got
now
the DNA.
it's what the DNA is that. So I'll tell you exactly. So I asked Matt Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Former prosecutor. He's doing all these interviews about it. He's a regular person on, 2020. He's been on my show. So I asked him what the deal was. And he said, let me see. So basically, the biggest thing is that there's 3 hairs that were found on these bodies.
Right.
One is his and one is of his wife's,
Yeah.
of his wife.
Right.
But so I asked him, is there any way anyone's looking at her like they're a weird couple that did this together? No, everything. She's been completely cleared. She was always out of town.
At
when
comic
any of
book
these
conventions. That's where she was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So, they were accidental transfers. And he's saying that he thinks this guy is like a Dexter because it's a different kind of DNA that they have on him.
Right.
It's not like semen or blood. It's more like the internal tissue and everything. Because I said, what is this? They call it mitochondrial DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what they have. But the only thing is that instead of normal nuclear DNA, which is there's 1 in 100 chance that this is,
Right.
Instead, it's 1 in a trillion. No, wait. No, the regular one is 1 in a trillion. This is 1 in 100. So there's a little bit of where his defense will probably say,
Yeah, it's not him.
it's not him. We don't know for sure.
Right.
So it's a different kind of DNA since they don't have the sperm or anything of his, but they do have the hair. And then and then he would do these horrible things where he had their cell phones. He must have either they didn't have a passcode or he got them out of it before he died. And he would check their cell phones and he'd find worried family members and taunt them.
Yeah, call that from burner phones that he had.
Yes.
And they have video of him buying the burner phones in different locations throughout Long Island.
He'd brag about raping and killing their loved ones.
Yeah. But he had 2 kids and a wife, this guy. So which is
right.
Always
And I don't
strange.
know where the kids. I assume he always did this when they were gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the cell phone. the cell phone bill was linked to him.
And you know how they found his DNA, which is a good tip for everybody.
What?
Eat your pizza crust.
Oh yeah, they got
They
it.
found it on pizza crust. He had a piece of pizza.
But they'd been following him for a while,
Yeah,
and then in the last bit of time, they did get FBI involved. But they
Right.
did it, according to Matt, they really did it the right way to make sure that they had everything they needed. But they did move in now because they were afraid he would strike again or leave.
Right. Yeah.
So they're like, we have to get him.
My favorite part of anything like this happening on Long Island, in my hometown, is that you have to interview people from Long Island about it. And that's the greatest, when Long Island people get on the news.
And what do they say?
Just, oh my God, I can't believe it. He seemed like a normal guy. He was a great guy. Just, they wear like the crazy outfits.
Now,
and-
you are from Long Island.
Yes,
Why
these
weren't
are
they
my
asking
people.
you?
I know. I cannot believe they haven't come to me, because I was, all over this case.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Here are some of the things. Records obtained from from Tinder revealed a burner phone was linked to a fictitious Tinder account for Andrew Roberts using an email that Humerman, the suspect, also accessed from his personal cell phone. I mean, they have so much evidence. Humerman also allegedly used Google Pay to fund the dating app, which was via his American Express credit card. And he also allegedly used an email under a pseudonym, Thomas Hawk, to look up disturbing subjects on Google, including girl begging for rape porn, nude slave girls, and 10-year-old schoolgirls. Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they got the pizza crust, as you said. He tossed it in the trash
Yeah.
on Fifth Avenue on January
Yeah.
26th.
Right.
So they had the DNA, then they did all the matching of the DNA, and then they finally decided, yeah. And then Billy Baldwin, as you said, they went to high school in New York together, Burner High School, and they
Massapequa.
graduated in 1981.
Yeah. The home of Jerry Seinfeld and the Baldwins, Massapequa.
Wow.
A lot of people come out of Massapequa. Anyway,
Thank God they got him.
And he had like the shitty house on the street, which is that's a kind of a bit of a red flag.
So he had the worst house in the neighborhood.
Yes. And I saw a couple people be interviewed. Like, we always were concerned about the house because it's a kind of a nice neighborhood. And they're like, we would always
Was it like a
walk by.
hoarder house or just unkept?
A little bit, a
like
little
a
bit
little
unkept, a little hoardery. I'm seeing some of the stuff being brought out.
Yeah.
And there's like a doll collection, always a red flag. A doll collection, his apparently. Yeah, always creepy.
Well, I have a doll collection
Wait
in
a
this
minute.
office.
Oh
with
yeah,
all the
well,
Barbies.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the
That's
dolls
true.
look like my friends. So that's
Yeah, that's a little weird.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
But-
God. Well, hopefully there's some peace for these families because there was like a whole movie done about it.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess, now that you're reading all these things about the links to PayPals and the links to all
Yeah.
these. I mean, serial killing and murdering is tough these days.
It's gotten harder.
It's gotten a lot harder.
Than the Dahmer days.
Because the DNA and the link to payments and all that. I mean,
and all
it's-
the surveillance cameras
and the pings off the cell towers. That's another
Tell
thing.
me if you remember this part because I don't. Wasn't it that some of these sex workers, like, how did they get there? Did they get dropped off in an Uber, or did any of them ever have like a driver that waited for them, or did they all just get there and then knock on the door and then never come home?
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah,
because it's out there.
Because I remember there was one where like one girl was screaming, like one
the one
person
girl made
survived.
like a 911 call.
Oh, but didn't live.
But didn't live.
Oh,
yeah. And they're
okay,
not
that
saying
was
that
it.
she's at this point. They're not saying that girl's linked to him.
Well, obviously.
I know,
she is,
obviously,
yeah.
but there were 8 or 9 bodies they found, and they
Yeah,
only
there's gonna
only
be-
linked him to 4 or 3 or 4.
Right.
So
And-
who knows why?
Right.
And one of them was a man. There was a man involved. I saw.
Oh.
I think there
This
was
is
like
gonna
8 women and
be-
1 man.
God, imagine being the wife and you're having fun at Comic-Con and then this happens.
Yeah, I know.
She probably was there when he got arrested.
Yeah.
Comic-Con's a big thing in the summer, right?
I don't know, but if you went to, who knows? Anyway, I think they got the guy.
Speaking of
he
which,
looks very serial killery.
Matt Lauer showed up at a ladies-only golf luncheon in Southampton. Can we just have one thing? I'm just kidding. Not
Wow.
ever going
Yeah,
there
yeah,
again,
yeah.
especially with you, Chris.
Absolutely.
Don't
Please
you
don't. Please don't.
worry.
Yeah.
All are welcome.
Please.
All are welcome. Come into the light. Anyway, he was just there. I just thought it was funny. And he made a surprise appearance at a luncheon at his exclusive Southampton Golf Club on Thursday. Surprising, because it was a ladies-only affair. But anyway, he's like, well, I'm here now. Deal with it, ladies.
I mean, he's still hanging out in the Hamptons, huh? That's
Yeah,
his...
I don't know that he went into the ladies' locker rooms. Again,
We
I'm
don't-
not
yeah,
going to
yeah.
touch that with
Uh-huh.
a 9-inch
Right.
pole. Okay? I am not.
Well, I feel like he should just, at this point, I mean, I don't know. Is it getting to the point where we're...
He doesn't need anything. Just go have some
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, but
I
I
don't
would
know,
I
but-
would have left the Hamptons at this point.
You just said how great it is.
Oh,
It's,
I
it's
know,
all
but
a
I'm saying
joy.
it's great for me because I wasn't
I don't
shamed
think, I
on
think
publicly.
I think people were nice to him at the. I bet they were nice to his face at this ladies'
yeah.
luncheon.
Right.
I don't think any of those ladies were like rapist or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't think any of that happened.
No, he's been in the
No,
Hamptons
I
his
think
whole...
people acted nice to his face and then gossiped about
Right.
it after. So this story has a nice ending. This girl is safe, but
She's
it is a curious story.
Okay.
So this went crazy over the weekend. So many people I follow, I posted in Juicy Scoop Obsessed.
Right.
People were letting me know because one of the things I talk about is it's my hero fantasy to rescue an abandoned child.
Right.
It could be a newborn. It could be a toddler. I did rescue one at Disneyland who was about 3. But it was a short-lived. The mother found us.
Yeah.
And the mother's crying. The kid ran off once he didn't like his ice cream. It was not her fault.
Sure.
She's an excellent mother.
But it was still a rescue, nonetheless.
It was still a
Yeah.
rescue, and I still got to talk to that child. And I also got to see how easy it was if I could,
Right.
how easy I could get him to go to my
To
car.
just abduct the
He
child.
completely stopped crying. We started talking.
Yeah.
He was like completely ready to be my son.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Good to know.
this woman from Alabama, she calls 911. She goes, "Oh my God, I see a walking toddler on the side of the highway." And she called 911. And I think she also, so there was that and they were coming. And then she called like a cousin or something was telling her. And then there was a scream and they didn't hear from her. And then when they got to where she said that she had pulled over, her
Right.
car was there, her wig was there, her purse was there, her cell phone was there, but no young toddler. So
Right.
then everyone's like looking at the surveillance. The parents do a plea and they're very positive, religious. Like, we're only going to have positive thoughts that we're going to find her.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, she showed up.
A couple
She is
days
safe.
later, right?
So here's the details of it, okay? So she went missing, like I said, it was I-495. And she's a nursing student. She called the police. And also her boyfriend publicly thanked the supporters and defended himself against any allegations that he was involved. And so then now she has been found at her place. She went to the hospital. They checked her out. We don't know if she was trafficked at all or assaulted or what happened, but she was well enough to leave. And so since her return, the boyfriend broke his silence earlier, talking to Instagram to share photos and videos of the two while clearing his name of any wrongdoing. Now her mother, Carlee's mother, has taken a Facebook page to break her own silence, asking now for privacy until the family is ready to talk and release official statement. My husband and I want to make this statement again, as we did last night. We have nothing to add or take away from how we're feeling right now, just that they're grateful. Our baby is safe.
So was there ever a toddler? What's the toddler story?
There is no toddler.
Oh,
There's no toddler that they found. Now, there's a couple things that could have happened.
right.
Was the toddler a lure? Like, did someone put out their toddler so that someone pull over?
Right.
And they hoped that it would be a girl
Uh-huh.
on a busy highway. Seems a little strange.
Right.
And once she had the toddler in her possession, then that was there. Then someone came up behind her, kidnapped her,
Right.
took her money, did something awful to her, but at some point she escaped or they released her. We don't know.
So at this point, there's no... I feel like...
At this point, there's no toddler. So listen,
I feel like the parents of the toddler would be like, yes, she found our toddler on the side of the road. Thank you for returning it.
unless
But there's no big parents.
there's nothing that shows a toddler or anything
Right.
in the surveillance of the highway.
Okay.
There was some other vehicle that looked suspicious, some gray car that when they
Yeah.
were looking for her, they're like, there was a gray car. So, I mean, I think, yeah, there's some talk happening among
Okay.
people of like, is this story true? It's like I said, one of two things could happen. It could have been someone used their toddler to lure a woman and somehow she escaped a horrible situation. Or it could be something else.
Or it could be she was at her boyfriend's house.
Or
and
it
the husband,
could be,
husband
I
doesn't
don't know.
that.
There's fake kidnappings
Yeah.
that have happened. Jussie Smollett,
Right.
the girl from wherever
Yes,
Modesto that
that blonde,
said that 2 Mexican lesbians kidnapped her when
Yeah.
she was with her ex-boyfriend. There was, the girl who said someone was trying to kidnap her kids in Petaluma and they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this is the case.
Right.
But because of those cases, some people are talking
Right.
that it's a little odd. But also, I was interested because
I feel like this is
you
a
better
pretty,
believe I'm going to pull over, even now, if I see a
Yeah.
little toddler.
I feel
I will
like
never not pull over for a toddler walking the streets alone.
I've never seen it. I've never.
I told
wish.
you my friend did get one.
Yeah.
She got one 5 a.m. walking down DeSoto the day after Thanksgiving. She was getting up early to go do her shopping.
And what? The kid just walked out of the house.
Yeah, the kid walked. The girl was a single mom. She was staying with a friend, and there was miscommunication.
Yeah.
And he woke up and this wasn't his regular home, and he walked out of the apartment, and the other person didn't know had walked out, and
Yeah.
it was all okay. Like the mom got her kid back, but it was just something crazy like that. My friend happened to see him just walking in his
I would
pajamas.
love- My daughter won't walk anywhere. I got to fucking carry her everywhere. I wish she would walk down the street. I mean, she's always carrying me. I'm like, you're 4 now. We don't need to carry you. And then I tell her, show me another 4-year-old being carried right now. And then she'll spend the rest of the day trying to find one. And she'll find one. She'll like, there's one. I'm like, oh, now I got to carry you for another 2 weeks.
I worked on this cartoon with the Wayans brothers called Little Boo Kids. I can't even remember, but I was like a character in it. Like I was a voiceover in it.
Yeah.
And they had all these different characters. Thugaboo. It was called Thugaboo.
Uh-huh.
And one of the characters that came up with was this kid that was in the stroller that was so big that it could walk with its own feet, but just
funny.
still going to be in a stroller,
Yeah.
completely
Yeah. I
fine.
see it in the airport.
Anyway, hopefully we'll know the truth.
Well, I feel like
and
this is quickly. You're going to come to a conclusion quickly on this one.
I think everyone's being sensitive about
Yeah.
it, except me. I'm not being that sensitive. But look, I'm happy she's safe because I really thought when I heard this story, oh God, they used the toddler to lure her. We'll never hear from this girl again. She's dead.
Right.
So I'm just whether not all of the story that we've been fed is 100% true. Who cares?
You're happy she's
safe.
alive.
But if
right.
it turns out that because 60, 70 cops, I mean, people were on this.
Yeah.
So if for some reason something in her call to the police was not 100% true, then she will get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. Wait, I just want to say he said she fought for her life.
She was kidnapped and fought for her life.
That's what the
Yeah.
boyfriend's saying, and then her family's saying, "Leave us alone. We want privacy now."
Yeah.
So, let's talk about and just like that, the latest episode.
Yes.
And with Che Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've said earlier this season, I think she is a good actress. I
She's
think
very good
they
actress.
are a good actress.
She's excellent.
And
But she's always been a good actress.
they are excellent.
What do you mean? Is that what she
I think
considers
she
herself?
is. I think she is a they them as well, not just the character she plays.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm just gonna say
yeah.
Sarah Rodriguez
Sarah, yeah.
instead of
She
a
was on
pronoun.
Grey's Anatomy. She's a good actress.
Anyway, when she's not doing horrible stand-up that somebody wrote for her, or horrible podcasting work that someone like when she's just
Right.
being the character,
Mm-hmm.
I thought this scene was really good. To fill people in, so she is a podcaster and a stand-up who gets her own, very typical of the last 25 years.
Right.
You get the sitcom about your family.
Right.
Tony Danza is the dad, and now he's dealing with his former daughter, who's now non-binary, but she's hilarious. And she said, Sarah says, I'm excited because my agent's coming to watch the focus group. Now, never have I ever heard of a star being able to watch the focus group.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that?
Not that I know of.
I was subject of a focus group once.
Subject of one or on one?
I was what they were focusing on.
Why? How? Why?
I did a show, you'll remember,
Uh-huh.
with Ross Matthews.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to have a show, it'd be like once a week on E, while, and still sort of, I think I could still remain on Chelsea. I don't know what the deal is.
Right.
But they came to me and they said, first it was going to be Ross and Guy Branum. And
Okay.
they thought that was a fun idea of two different types of gay guys coming together talking about pop culture.
Okay.
Then E said, no, we think like Heather would be really good with Ross. We love them together. They come, they bring it to me. I go to, whatever, Tom, who is our EP.
Yeah.
And he goes, what do you think? And I'm like, oh my God, have my own show with Ross. Like, could anything be more fun and easy? Great.
Yeah.
So we do the pilot, and he's able to work on the pilot in these offices that they gave us across the street all day long. And they're like, you can have 2 writers. He's got 2 writers.
Uh-huh.
And I get Jen Kirkman, who was great. She had left the show for a minute, and she was free.
And I believe it was comedian Jason Nash, too, right?
I didn't know who else to get. All my friends worked on Chelsea.
But Jason Nash is like a big star now. He's like a big internet star.
You're right. I didn't even know. He was great, too.
Yeah.
But I asked her, like, I was like, do you need, I'm going to have budget for 2 more people, like for 2 people.
Uh-huh.
So I had to work on Chelsea Lately all day, and then I had to ask Sue Murphy, can I please cross the street? It's 4:30. I'm about to do a pilot that could fucking change my life.
No, you need to sit at your desk.
No, sit at your desk.
Right.
You can go at 6.
Yeah.
So then I crossed the street, and we were coming up with topics and coming up with funny things. And now the day comes, and we're going to film it. And there were things like the graphics. It was called Love It or Hate It or something. Do you love it or do you hate it?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I kind of hate the graphics, but I didn't feel like I could speak up. You know, because it was that guy that drank wine at his desk. Remember him that did the graphics? He kind of scared me.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
whatever. So I get
Adamus.
yes, and then oh God, I'm like such an awful. I'm actually an awful diva, like to my own demise. Because I remember like then Ross's boyfriend at the time, who I really liked, he was the stylist, and he brought me in a bunch of clothes. And I have a certain body, as I said.
Can't wear the boyfriend jeans.
I can't wear everything.
Montauk.
And it just was like not working. And I go, I'm not feeling this. And then Ross like let me know like, oh, Salvador's feelings are really hurt. If you could just give him more encouragement. I'm like, oh my God, maybe I don't need a stylist. Like, let me just try to figure out my. But then he brings a great outfit and I love it. But I will say one of the things I should have thought of, because I also lost a second job to this, is when I stand next to a guy and I'm taller, focus groups hate that.
Yeah.
I've actually had 2 focus groups fire me. I'm just thinking about it right now. So the first, so I'm standing next to Ross, and I have these little short gray boots on, flattering, Trina Turk dress actually.
Okay.
And I look cute. I love my hair and makeup. But when I saw us standing there together, I'm like, I don't think it's great that I'm taller than him. Anyway, the show comes, and I'm waiting. Like, when are we going to hear if the pickup comes?
Right.
And Tom calls me into his office after like everyone has left for the day, and he goes, so they're not picking up the show. And he goes, because they did a focus group and everyone hated you. I'm not kidding. It was this blunt. He goes, but they loved Ross. So E is going to give Ross his own show. But you're absolutely not going to be part of it.
Right.
And so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I go, oh. He's like, yeah, that focus group they just had horrible reactions to you.
Did you ever read any of the reactions?
No, I just was like,
should've.
I got in the car, I called Ross, I cried, he was
Yeah.
sweet, talked to Chelsea that night, and I was like, well, this really wasn't my dream show anyway, so whatever, I'll think of something else. And I'm like, let me just mourn it for one day. Next day, done.
Yeah.
Okay? But what I would do, then I did this other thing. Right after Chelsea ended, they go, oh, we want you to do the craziest Christmas commercials like on CW. And we're paying you $10,000 to do it. And I did it, and they cast this other guy, I can't remember, and I do the whole thing, and I'm taller than him.
Wow.
And then I call my agent, and I go, hey, when is that thing airing? Because it's almost Christmas time.
He's like, the focus groups hate you.
He said the focus groups hate you. They actually reshot the whole thing with 2 completely different people.
Wow. I'll say this.
So anyway.
To make you feel better.
Yeah.
I used to be in focus groups. I used to do it for money, like back when times were tough. And you were able to do it once a month over at the whatever the guild building was.
Okay.
And they paid you $50, and you would go in and watch these TV shows, and then they would put you all together. And they wanted, they wanted a Latino woman and a white guy and a blah blah blah, and we would all watch. I probably did it 20 times, watched 20 different shows. They encourage you to hate the people. They keep asking you, like, who do you dislike the most?
Yeah, so you thought this scene was pretty accurate then, right?
Yeah. Because you have to find somebody, You know, you want to get out of there,
Right.
And like they tell you
It's almost like when you confess to a murder you didn't do.
right, exactly. It's like that.
Yeah.
And also, I'll say this: it's like a jury. You know, people are like, how did the jury come to this conclusion? Like, because a lot of times in juries, they get the people who they need somebody who doesn't know anything about it. You know, so if they're not the smartest people sometimes because you didn't hear about OJ, not a word. So, so these people who do focus groups, they're like, oh, well, of course they don't know anything. You know, they're looking for $50.
Yeah.
I remember when I went there, I'm like, oh, this is like down and out people,
Yeah.
like homeless people, not a joke. And then one guy was like, you get $50 and all the soda you can drink. That's what he told me. I'm like, and this is the guy who's controlling network television, more or less.
And you're blaming it on, and you're taking 6 people's opinion, or maybe you do one more.
Right.
But it's under 100 people that see this thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to do it on that? Like, you don't think that you, as the executive that watches all the TV, so they're paying these executives hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s a year.
Yeah.
And their opinion is not strong enough?
I know.
To put it out there and then see if it catches on or not?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. So
I believe just to go back to it basically ruins television, and that's why I think television's gotten better, because I don't think the Netflix and some of the other I don't think
Testing
they use
the waters
focus groups as much
No,
as
I don't think
as
so
like
either.
ABC and NBC did. I don't know if they still do, but I think they're kind of a thing of the past.
Yes. But she's doing a traditional sitcom. So I actually loved this.
Yeah.
And I've read some articles about it where, so Sarah is sitting there watching it, which would never happen.
Right.
And they're like, oh, they love Tony Danza. And, you know, there's an old man in this. And then there is a non-binary queer born woman, but non-binary now, who then just rips into the Che character.
She's the producer or something, right?
No, she's
Oh,
a
she's a
focus
focus
group.
group. Yeah,
She's
okay.
and she says, you know, it's corny. These aren't real experiences. This is a bunch of dad jokes. It's lame. Che is lame.
Right.
And I also thought that also is so true, that here the person that sees himself on TV is actually like the harshest about it, because they're probably like a little bit jealous, like, why them?
Right.
Why not me?
Right.
You know, anyways. And also, like, yeah, you just want to be heard. And then you start getting some encouragement and you start really ripping on it. And anyway, I read some articles where the idea is that in writing that scene, it was kind of the writer's feeling of what the hate that Che's character got last season.
Oh, yeah.
Was coming out in this focus group.
Got
Not
it.
funny, corny, not realistic,
Yeah.
like nothing funny. So then the next scene is Miranda's there trying to make Che feel better, and Che is crying, and she says, how am I going to pay for this apartment? Which I would have said, don't get that apartment until you get the second pickup, okay?
Right.
And then, of course, dumb Miranda, who, by the way, is just injuring herself right
Yeah,
now
when did
all
she
the
become
time,
the buffoon of
hurting
with
herself
the
all the
phone
time.
ringing and the Charlie horse and the threesome? And I'm like, when did she become Laurel and Hardy? Like, I feel like it's very over the top, like buffoonery. So.
It reminds me of how Brooke Shields said when she got her show Suddenly Susan, since she wasn't funny, they just were like, you're going to have to fall like 5 times an episode.
Right. Yeah, that's what I feel like Miranda's doing now. It's like, all right.
So anyway, another person also said, like, I think it's interesting that in the past, like, Miranda couldn't handle, like, you know, Steve getting up to take a piss, yet she will be fine with Che's 12 comedian friends smoking pot all night in the room next to her.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like, be
right.
completely fine with that,
Yeah.
that obstructing her sleep, or a threesome that she didn't ask for. So anyways, then she cries to her, and she's like, no, this is my life. And then Miranda goes, yeah, but you'll make a better show. And this is what I loved. She's like, you don't get it. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
And it is so true.
It is.
Once you have this opportunity, and you're the first person to have the opportunity as the non-binary comedian, at least the character of Che Diaz was smart enough to know, your people aren't calling you tomorrow to pitch it to cable.
Right.
It's done.
That's
It's
the end of
over. They're not even going to call you for anything but to book you maybe at a club.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you're done. And so I don't know. I'm curious. Now I kind of don't want Che to go away, though, but I'm afraid her character might be done.
I think
with the series.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, then she says, I need time, go away, go away. So I don't think we're going to see Che much in the future. I didn't see her in any of the upcoming previews.
I haven't seen the outcome. I mean,
So rest in peace.
Yeah. I'll say this. I don't hate this season.
No, I don't
It's
hate
fine.
it. Yeah.
It's just something about it, and I kind of felt this way even about the original section.
Yeah.
Something's just always off, and
Yeah.
I think I narrowed it down.
Oh, do tell.
Because the stars are good.
Yeah.
You know, they're fine. They're not the greatest actresses outside of Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, they're kind of weak actors.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
But the people who are really bad are like the guest stars. You know what I mean? Like the security guard who was taking Miranda's phone. Just like bad acting, really bad. Like, were they a friend of somebody? Like,
Well, interesting that you say that because they have been recycling guest stars from the seasons.
Yeah.
And even in the first, they're using a lot of people from the previous Sex and the City. But even on Sex and the City, they would use a guest star to play one role. You know, it's a Justin Theroux played Jared, a successful novelist named one of New York's best, coolest New Yorkers or whatever. Then he's introduced the next season as a friend of Stanford.
Yeah.
Who then tries to woo Carrie. So and then he said, oh, well, you know, they ran out of actors. Ran out of actors in New York?
I know, it was
So
plenty.
I'm like, how lazy is this casting director? So then the guy that in the past episode, a bike hits her and the guy gets hurt, that guy, he played a guy that was wooing Charlotte in Sex and the City.
Yeah.
And now he was in this.
And then you were saying that
And
the
then-
one woman.
And then, Nicole Parker
Yeah.
in last season of Just Like That, so just last season, she's talking to Charlotte about how much Carrie must be hurting because she lost her husband who died big. She goes, I know, I lost my father last year. Well, then the father shows up perfectly healthy
Billy D. Williams.
at the dinner, and it's not my stepdad. It's not, anyway,
Yeah.
they just are like, I'm like, is nobody doing any fact checking?
And that's
Nobody
not even
cares?
that. It wasn't like it was season one,
I don't mean to
15
be
years.
a bitch, but I think AI might have caught that.
yeah. I mean, it's funny. And then also some of those people, you know, like, listen,
Maybe this is why SAG had to go on strike because not enough of them are being used.
Yeah,
they just
plenty
kept
of just go to the
recycling.
strike line and get a couple of people to play. You don't got to hire Justin Theroux 3 times.
Yeah, he doesn't need it.
Yeah. So,
But
but it's just a little off.
So SAG has gone on strike. They've joined Writers Guild.
Writers Guild.
I liked Fran Drescher's speech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
She's the president of SAG.
President of SAG, the nanny, and so we'll see. Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, there's no thoughts from me because I'm a member of both. I'm a WGA
So
member
am
and a
I.
SAG member, as you are. And so I'm more power to them. I'm not in that world anymore because I'm not allowed. And
No, nobody is called from either
right.
to hire me for SAG or to hire me for Writers Guild in a minute.
Right.
But I hopefully this will be over with, and I'll be for my friends that I have a few friends that have, I believe, some real heartbreaking things. Jen Kirkman's nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah,
She's
big writer on Maisel. And their new show coming up.
Yes,
Yeah.
Guy Branum is a big-time writer, showrunner. Allison Faust created Actor Age.
Well, friends of ours. Yeah.
Yes, and now that's been put on hold.
Everybody. I mean, yeah.
Lisa
all
Ann
my
Walters. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many shows, and I'm like, of people kind of our age that it's come finally they're out of place.
Right.
And now this could be a big thing. So I hope that they can solve it quickly. But one of the things that people are talking about is they said for background actors, which is also called extras. What do you call extras?
Yeah.
They're saying for the $200 day rate, we want you to then allow us to use your image so we can do like CGI of AI background people for the rest of the time.
They would own your likeness.
You could be dead and you could still be. And there's obviously that's not cool, but also it's like maybe you did this extra work and you don't want people to know that you did extra work 35 years from now. And now you're like a
you and I on Wayne's World 2. many years.
Imagine how weird that would be. It's all of a sudden I turned on a show and I see like 22-year-old Heather in a red bathing suit walking down the beach, which is what I did in 90210, and Ian Ziering like winking at me. Like I mean, maybe that wouldn't be so bad, but I mean, I just
right.
And then also, what does that do to the work of background actors? If we're going to be able to AI them from today, why would we need any new ones 5 and 10 years from now?
And they need it. And
a lot of people, that is their full job.
Right.
They don't want to be a star. They like the work. They enjoy going to set. They bring their chair. They bring their book. They're
Yeah.
professional, and that is what they live off of. So that's just one of the many things. But
Yeah.
some people were confused about that.
Well, yeah, the AI thing, it seems to be, because they say AI could also write scripts and,
Yeah.
and so it's just about, will AI write a script as good?
No,
who knows? That's the
listen,
thing.
I think they can do a formulaic thing, but what you guys need that's not part of the business, what I believe we should support the writers and the SAG actors,
Right.
is because it's to maintain not only the industry and the positions and the jobs, but also the art.
Right.
Like, there's not going to be twists. There's not going to be things that just blow you away.
Yeah.
If we go this route without them.
Also,
So-
not to sound like a hippy-dippy idiot here, loser, whatever, but the good thing about art is I always thought was that it can't be replicated by computers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the joy of it.
Right.
Yeah, we could all do. I mean, we all know what a computer can do, but I don't know. It just looks better when it's done by real people.
Well,
But
I will say the
things are changing.
what was the art thing that took off that now is nothing? The photos that people could do that was digital art that was such a big deal.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
What was that called?
I forgot. Yeah,
Anyway, that's not a hit anymore.
I know. Well, yeah. Here's the
NFTs.
NFTs. Yeah. The other thing is, if you're a member of these guilds, we
Yeah.
struck years ago when cable first came.
Yeah.
There were 3 networks: CBS, ABC, NBC, maybe Fox at that time.
Right.
And cable came, and we were like, "This is it. The Hollywood shutting down. Cable television is going to kill everything."
Yeah.
And we worked it out somehow. Then came DVDs and VHS. This is going to be a problem. We're not getting the proper residuals off DVDs and VHS. We're going to die.
Yeah.
We somehow worked that out.
Right.
I feel like this is the next one, streaming and Netflix and all
that
that.
we have to figure
They'll
out,
work it
yeah.
out somehow.
We have
But
to-
it's good. You have to
Yeah.
work it out.
You have to work it out.
Because like I said, I'm out of the business. I do what I do, cover to cover. You do what you do. I'll say this for both you and I, who do it well, I believe, podcasting.
Yes.
Here's what's going to happen in the next couple of months because of striking, and it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. There's going to be a glut of podcasts coming your way, everybody. Everyone listening to this. Here they come. Every person who's on Abbott Elementary and every other.
I don't know that they'll be launching it. I think they'll be available to be guests on it.
But
And then because I don't think, in my opinion, podcast networks are going to be giving out the money that they gave out to Meghan Markle and a few other people these
it won't
last
be
couple
that.
years.
It's not going to be that.
So if they're launching it in their backyard, fine.
Okay.
But I don't even know that they're going to do that. But I think they would be available to be guests on other things.
But here's what agents and managers are going to be doing right now because they're trying to keep
Scrambling. Maybe
their
they
jobs
will be.
too.
Be like,
they're
"Start
we
it."
got nothing for you. Yeah, but you're an interesting, funny guy. Start a podcast.
Yeah.
So for all of you who listen to this, you need to support the people who are good at it.
Yes.
'Cause you think this
and
shit is easy.
advertisers.
Right.
Support the people that are good at it.
You
yeah.
think what Heather does and what I do are easy. It's not that easy. And
Yeah.
you can listen to some of these things. We, a lot of times we're riffing and fucking whatever. We fuck up words and stuff like that because what we do is a skill.
And we're entertaining.
Yes, and we're entertaining at it.
And we can
So,
create the content
yeah.
every day.
Thank you very much. That's my
With
speech.
that being said, I am going to talk to you more, but I'm going to end this show and do some other topics and save it for future shows.
Okay.
So before we go,
Do you not want to talk about your weekend plans that went awry?
Oh, I do want to. Let's talk about that real
okay.
quick.
Yeah.
So I was home for the weekend, and Peter and Drake were not there, but I had Brandon, and I went to Auschwitz, as I said, at the Reagan Library. Highly recommend. Go to these things earlier in the day because then you walk outside and it's gorgeous, and then they're like, we're closing at 5. So I'm
Right.
just saying, go to an earlier one. Then I went to my country club and danced to a cover band, which was kind of a weird thing to do right after Auschwitz. It's like
Right.
the saddest story ever.
Yeah.
And you can't believe these people lived through it. And then I danced with Brandy and Julie and Liz to a cover band.
Uh-huh.
And so then I was like, well, I talked to Sarah, and she's very sad about the passing of her dad, and her husband was out of town. And I'm like, should we get together at one of our pools this weekend? Would you like to do that? And she's like, yeah, maybe, whatever. So then I write both of you guys, and you go, I can do it Sunday. I fly home Saturday, I can do it Sunday.
Right.
I thought when you wrote that, I forgot that you were in Montauk, and I thought you were coming from some sad gig,
No.
and you would have been down to have us come over Sunday. And I go,
I would have.
Then I talked to
Yeah.
Dr. Drew and Susan Pinsky. And Dr. Drew's coming, people. He's coming. So be excited for that. And we're going to do a show.
Okay.
And then I said, what are you guys doing? And we're just in our backyard. And they have a beautiful house in Pasadena.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, would you like to come over? And I go, well, I kind of made plans with, let me see what I can do. So then you're like, it's Beckett's birthday. We're going to chill at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So then I tell Susan, I'm going to be totally honest, Susan. I think I'm going to go to Chris's maybe, Pasadena's like an hour away. And so I don't even know if he wants us, but you go and invite other people, have your own party. And she did already go buy some noodles. I go, do you got some noodles? And then she ran out and bought noodles, and then I didn't even come.
Noodles for like the pool?
Like the
or?
tubes, I
Oh,
like to just like hang on a
I
noodle.
thought you meant to eat. I was like,
No.
Is that a thing?
But she also bought barbecue stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, I don't want to be the only one you're like serving,
Uh-huh.
And so then the next day I wake up and you're like, we just got home. Beckett's going to be grouchy.
Yeah.
Like,
Nightmare
I didn't
travel.
realize you were flying home from a 2-week trip with your child. The fact that you ever even considered wanting to have someone come over Sunday, even if your flight was perfect, is stupid.
Yeah.
You
No.
should have said no right then and there.
Right.
And I said it in a very nice way. I was like, no worries, no pressure.
Right. You did.
So then I had to call.
But I would have had you over, yes, would have been fine. But
yesterday you said no.
I know,
you said,
because-
see you Monday.
because-
And it felt very firm.
well,
I'm around the corner.
let me tell you why. Because we were on the runway at Kennedy,
Yeah.
leaving.
Yeah.
You get on the plane, you're like, all right, we're taking off. And then it was like a 2-hour wait, whatever. The air traffic control, blah, blah, blah. Then we're like, oh, to get through that. And then we land at LAX.
Yeah.
And it's another like hour on the runway. And my daughter's peeing her pants. Is wildness.
Yeah.
Going, we got shit. Remember that story about the woman they made her pick up
Her own
popcorn off the
Yeah.
ground or whatever?
Yeah. You felt like you're there.
You had to see our seats after it was over. I mean, it looked like an encampment.
Listen, you shouldn't have people over after a day like
Yeah.
that. And then 2
So
weeks.
it was just wild.
chill. I
That's what
don't-
we did.
As delightful as I am, you don't need to see me.
Mhm.
Okay.
We chilled.
So then I told Susan, I go, I'm out. She goes, nobody else could come, but we still would like to have you. I go, just go skinny dip with Drew. You guys are like horny. Just go
Right.
have a fun time without me. Like I can't.
Yeah.
And so that was my thing. That's how it turned out. So, but then I had Liz and her son come earlier in the day. And then I had another one of my friends and her son, both Brandon friends, come. So I had 2 small pool gatherings at my own house.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And so
I'm
it
glad
all
you-
worked out. I enjoyed my backyard in Woodland Hills.
Good.
This weekend.
Speaking of Drew and Susan being horny, just going back to, and just like that. Now, I don't want to sound ageist because I'm old too. But I'm
It's a bit much.
It does make me uncomfortable to see Evan Handler getting a hand job and trying to come on what's her face.
That really bothered
like
me.
it's a lot. It's a lot, and I don't want to be that person.
The penis pump with the realtor girl,
Yeah.
that felt very old school Sex and the City, very much what would happen to Kim Cattrall.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate that storyline.
Right.
I thought, and I thought she was honest, like, hey, I'll deal with it. At least he's kind of funny and there isn't much out there. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But watching Evan Handler pretend to have the calm.
And his wig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Chris, besides being with me
Uh-huh.
coming up with the shows,
We're doing those shows.
we're doing those shows.
Are we doing
How do we
stand up
call
or
it?
live Juicy Scoop?
We're doing stand
Oh,
up.
good. Fun.
But it's kind of and then in Sacramento and San Francisco, I think I will have an element of the Juicy Scoop stuff with like
Okay.
the photos and stuff. But
yeah.
you just trust me, guys. You can bring your husband.
Oh, my
He
God.
does not need to know about any of this stuff. We make it funny.
Yeah.
For both, just the show will be
I had a
great.
blast in that
I
San
just
Diego.
like
I
kind
haven't
of
seen you since
deciding what
San
I'm
Diego.
doing like that week.
That show
because-
was so fun.
Because
that
we're
San Diego
doing,
show.
both of us are doing very topical, fresh, funny
Yeah.
stuff. So just come to the show. Do you have anything else you want to promote?
Please, like tomorrow, I'm in San Antonio. LOL.
Well, tomorrow, on Tuesday?
No, Wednesday. I'm at LOL Comedy. Let me just give you.
Let me tell you,
LOL Comedy Club San Antonio,
that's
Wednesday
going
night
to
the
be
19th.
fun shows. That is a great club.
Then
We're
I
gonna have
move
so much
on
fun.
to Cap City in Austin. Capital City Comedy Club in Austin.
fun,
That's
fun.
on Thursday night, the 20th. And then on the 21st, I'm in Houston at the House of Blues.
Sexy.
And then August 9th, right before I meet you, I'm at Comedy Works in Denver on a Wednesday night,
Perfect.
August 9th. Denver. Comedy Works South, the one out there.
Yeah,
So
no, but
people,
that's
come
the
on,
one I always
Denver.
play at, and I love that
love
one.
it.
I love that one.
So I'm
It's
doing it one night
beautiful.
only. That's it. And then
You are going to kill.
Frangiola.fun, cover to cover, all those things and more.